Really, the process is a two-speed technique. The first pass is going to be a bit slower because I want to evenly distribute what we call those wet swirls. Once I've got the field and even color and the swirls distributed, I'm going to come back at a second pass at a faster pace and work the product back and forth quicker until those wet swirls are gone. And again, my field has a nice even coloration to it. So use those two speeds, a little bit slower at first, a little bit faster the second time around, until you get a nice even look to your field and you're ready to move on to the next section. The answer is no, the color's not going to be deeper, and you're just going to have other issues then because you didn't take, or you have too much excess still on the floor trying to go right into your buffing all the time. One, your white pad is going to load up a lot faster. You also, because of that loading, you're going to tend to deposit excess or too much color and maybe develop a haze in your overlap areas especially, and not be able to work those out. It's also going to take you then a lot longer to remove your wet swirls. You're also going to have a tendency to have a lot more flingers, which is when your white pad is loaded up so much that it can't take off any more of the excess, and it's just grabbing that wet product off the floor and flinging it out back in front of the pad. So don't skip the excess removal process. It may depend on your environmental conditions and the color on how much you actually remove per section, but not removing any is not going to help you, and it can only help by taking some of that off before you hit it with your white pad to move the wet swirls around and then to take them off. Depends on your environmental conditions, right? Your humidity, your temperature, airflow. If I have higher temps, lower humidity, it's going to shorten my open times. Also, it's color dependent. So any of the heavier pigmented products, whether it's my darker brown tones like Americano or cocoa bean, winter or smoky gray, something with a white pigment in it, those are also going to have shorter open times and tend to get tackier quicker. The easiest thing to do is adjust the size of your working section if you find that the floor is getting tacky because of environmental conditions and or because of your color choice. So either shorten it, or if it's staying nice and open a lot longer than you expected, you may be able to work larger sections. But do that first and make sure your environmental conditions are controlled, and open time should not be an issue. It doesn't, because the buffing process mitigates any grain raise that you might have from the self-popping nature of the product itself. So when you get done buffing it off, you should find that you have an ultra smooth surface ready for that sealer application. And areas that can't be buffed because the buffer can't reach there, so you've had to hand apply treads, risers, maybe some of your detailed areas, you may have some minor grain raise there, but not like a standard water pop job before you apply a solvent-based stain. And you might be able to take even the white pad, rub that down a little bit, but it's still not going to be the same degree of grain raise you may have experienced with a standard water pop. So does it cause grain raise in your main field? Not to worry about. In some detailed areas, we think you'll find it's not enough to be concerned about as well.